If you want the benefits of a 24-hour fast, the mental clarity, the fat burning, the cellular cleanup, but you don't want to suffer through the hunger and the energy crashes, you need to understand how to use MCT oil correctly. This is where most people get it wrong. They hear that MCT oil is keto friendly or fasting friendly. They dump it into their coffee, and then they wonder why their weight loss is stalled or why they aren't seeing results. The problem isn't the MCT oil itself, it's how it's being used. Most people are using the wrong type of MCT oil, or they're using it at the wrong time. And this can actually stall progress. Today we're breaking down my MCT oil protocol that actually mimics fasting. I'm going to talk about why timing matters more than quantity, and why the type of MCT oil you use determines whether you are burning fat or storing it. If you've been wanting to get the benefits of a 24-hour fast, but find it extremely difficult to stick to, this protocol is for you. Fasting is extremely important for metabolic health. We should be spending some time daily in a fasted state and some time in a fed state. And the fasted state shouldn't just be when we're sleeping. Fasting is great for metabolic health because it lowers insulin and allows your body to access stored energy. When insulin is low, fat burning turns on and repair pathways activate. But here's the part that most people don't understand. Your brain doesn't care whether you're fasting by rules. It only cares whether fuel is available. Every morning, your brain runs a decision tree. Is glucose coming in? Yes or no? If no, is there an alternate fuel? If neither is available, it initiates a hunger and stress response. And this is why people with poor metabolic flexibility find it so hard to fast. Their body isn't able to use fat for energy. When you wake up and you drink plain black coffee or water, glucose is low and fuel is limited. That is great for fat burning, but for many people, the brain interprets it as a potential threat. Hunger hormones rise, focus drops, and willpower is required to push through. And this is where MCT oil can change the equation. It can help you to become more metabolically flexible. MCTs are a unique type of fat. It's short for medium chain triglycerides. And unlike long chain fats, which are the ones we usually see in foods like steak or olive oil, MCTs are digested differently. They don't need bile or lymphatic transport. They go straight to the liver. And once they're in the liver, they are rapidly converted into ketones. Something that doesn't automatically happen when you consume other types of fat. Ketones short-circuit the decision tree. They tell the brain fuel is available, no emergency required, while insulin remains low. And that's the magic of fasting mimicry. Glucose turns off fat burning, and ketones allow fat burning to continue. And this is why this protocol works so well for people who struggle with traditional water fasts. By providing ketones without glucose, you keep the brain calm, the appetite quiet, and the body in a fat-burning state. And this is not cheating a fast. You still get the benefits. Now, not all MCTs are created equal, and this is where a lot of people go wrong. If you walk into a grocery store and grab a cheap bottle that's labeled liquid coconut oil, even if it says high in MCTs, this isn't the product you want. Now, stick with me here because it's not as complicated as you might be thinking. You need to look at the carbon chain length. The two chains that matter here are C8 and C10. C8 is the gold standard. It bypasses normal digestion almost entirely and hits your liver like metabolic lightning. It produces ketones faster than any other fat source. This is what actually mimics a fasted state at a molecular level. C10 is also great, but just a little bit slower. It still contributes to ketone production, just not as aggressively. Now, here's the catch. Many brands pad their product with C12 because it's cheaper and naturally abundant in coconut oil. Now, C12 does have some benefits for immune health, but metabolically, it behaves more like long-chain fat. It takes longer to digest. It raises calories without the same ketone spike. It does not reliably support fasting mimicry. So if your MCT oil is mostly C12, you might as well just be having any other type of fat. You want an MCT oil that's primarily C8, maybe blended with C10, and minimal to zero C12. I will link a couple brands that I recommend that have the right blend in the description box down below. Now, as we move into the protocol, there's one critical factor that we can't ignore. When insulin drops, which is exactly what we want from this MCT protocol, your kidneys excrete more sodium and more water. This isn't a flaw, it's a part of the fat burning state. It's the reason why people lose a lot of water weight when they're fasting, why they feel less puffy and inflamed. But if you don't replenish this water and specifically the electrolytes, symptoms show up quickly. Lightheadedness, fatigue, brain fog, weak workouts, the infamous keto flu. And that's why I use Sodi's everyday hydration salts when I'm fasting. These are my ideal hydration salts because they contain zero added sugar, no artificial sweeteners, and no weird ingredients or fillers. Nothing that will spike insulin and ruin the fasted signal. They're purely electrolytes for metabolic health. Sodium is not the enemy when insulin is low. It's required for nerve signaling, muscle contractions, and maintaining blood volume. So it's really important to replenish. And especially if you're not feeling great during your fast, this could be why. If you want to check them out, I'll put the link in the description box down below, and you can use code HCK15 at checkout to save 15% off your order. They're an Australian company, but yes, they ship worldwide. Now, if you've never used MCT oil before, don't start with a full tablespoon. This is the fastest way to learn an uncomfortable lesson. Because MCTs are absorbed so quickly, they can overwhelm your gut if you're not adapted. This can lead to cramping and digestive distress. So start small. Build your way up. Begin with just 1 teaspoon in your morning coffee or tea, or you can sip it straight off the spoon. Let your digestive system adapt. If you tolerate that well for several days, then you can increase. Work your way up to 1 tablespoon. Now, if the oil is still an issue, even at a low dose, give the powder a try. The powder means slightly slower absorption without stopping ketone production. It's gentler on the stomach and easier to travel with. I'll link some powder options in the description box down below as well. Timing matters. Use your MCT oil in the morning to extend your overnight fast. This keeps your insulin at baseline while still providing ketones for your brain. When you use MCT oil in your fasting window, you're still getting the benefits of a water fast, but in a more condensed window. Have MCT oil in the morning and push your breakfast or your first meal to later in the day. 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m. Depending on what time you had dinner, this will allow you to have a 16 to 18 hour fasting window. But the MCT oil will accelerate your results. And the reason this works so well is because it supports your body's natural energy hierarchy. When glucose is available, your body burns glucose. When glucose drops and insulin stays low, your body switches to fat. That switch is regulated by a master sensor called AMPK. AMPK is the repair and fat burning switch. When it's high, fat oxidation increases, and so does insulin sensitivity. Cellular cleanup, also known as autophagy, increases as well. Now, the problem that usually stops a lot of people from getting to this point is hunger hormones. As insulin drops, ghrelin rises, driving food-seeking behavior. Most people break fast not because they need food, but because hunger signals get too loud. C8 MCTs solve that problem. It provides fuel without raising insulin. AMPK stays high, and ketones actually suppress appetite. The brain can stay calm and focused. You don't feel hungry, and you stop thinking about food. And over time, this builds metabolic flexibility, which is your body's ability to switch between burning glucose for energy and fat seamlessly. So as time goes on, you might not even need the MCT oil anymore, or at least not as much. But a lot of people still will use it in order to get the benefits of fasting faster. The reality is you don't have to fast for multiple days to get metabolic and weight loss results. Are there longevity and healing benefits to doing an extended multi-day fast? Yes, of course. But this only needs to be done every couple of months, even twice a year, in order to get the maximum benefits. More fasting isn't always better, especially when it comes to extended fasting. With this MCT protocol, a 16-8 or 18-6 eating window becomes effortless. Hunger fades, focus improves, and grazing stops. MCT oil is not a miracle, but it does have some pretty special benefits you don't get from other types of fat. Just make sure you're not using C12. Stick with C8 or C10. And always remember to stay hydrated when you're fasting, and hydrated with electrolytes. I'll also link to Sodi in the description box down below as well. If you found this video helpful, you might also like my video on berberine and 3 common mistakes I see people make when they're taking it. I'll link that on the screen here.